Hello, my friends. Welcome. So glad you are here joining me for another YouTube Live. I'm very excited. Brenda's back. She's been out of town. She's back. My most amazing moderator is on there with you. Hey, so for those of you that are joining me live today, it is June 9th and it's 11 a.m. Central Time. If you're here live with me, I just want to give you a great big shout out. Thanks for joining in. Be sure to go to the chat box and that way you can chat. I'm going to try to read comments as I work. You guys know I am not very talented at reading and stamping at the same time. But if you're watching the replay, just a big welcome to you as well. We're so glad that you're here and that you're joining in because we've got a really great card for you today. Very excited about this one. I know I've made this one in the past, but it was challenging. I found a trick. I have found the trick that makes this so easy. You just won't believe how easy. So I'm excited to share this card with you. It's got a really great fun fold. It's a big wow. We love those cards with wow factor. And we're going to be doing some stamping and using some designer series paper. I think you're going to really enjoy the card. Tell you what, I think we're going to go ahead and head over to my stamping table because I have something I want to share with you, and that is my free download. You guys know I love to give out a free download to go along with my cards. In this download, and I thought I'd go ahead and mention this because there's been some confusion. Some people have asked, where's the tutorial? Well, actually, the tutorial is right here. You're watching it. The tutorial is the video. When you download this, you'll be able to click right here. So if you need to see the video again, you can see it there. This button right here, you'll be able to click, and that's where you'll see the full supply list, although I have it here as well. And you can order any of the supplies right there. Guys, I would love to be your demonstrator. So, hey, why not take a moment to click that button if you see something I use today that you like. Of course, here's all your measurements for both the cards. And again, like I said, supply list. Feel free to print this out, but just know in order to get those, you'll want to save it to your computer. So, Brenda, I know is going to put the download link up there, but hey, you can also look down in the YouTube description as well, and you will find the link to that. So you guys can head over there and download it. So let's talk about the card. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see the card for today. So pretty. It's got a really fun little belly band. And I called this a triangle gatefold because there's my gatefold. And then the card opens up this way. Yeah, isn't that so pretty? I think it's so fun. Again, just such a unique card. And I've got another card I'm going to share with you at the end and some tips and tricks on that one. Isn't it gorgeous? I just love it. A little bit of ribbon here on the side. So this is the card we're going to make today. And if you guys want to create along with me, let me give you the measurements of the supplies that you're going to need. So most of this, I was just able to find some scraps, or you could do this from an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. So I'm going to be using petal pink today. So first piece, a 4.25 by, wait for it, 4.25 by 5.25. Typically it's 5.5, but it is not. It is 5.25. All right, just making sure you know that this card is a little bit shorter. I've got two pieces here. These are 2.5 by 2.75. And then this is my belly band, 1 inch by 11. Again, that's in petal pink. So that's what we're going to use there. We're going to need some basic white. And so this is my actual card, and it is cut 4 inches by 10 inches, scored at 5 inches. So again, it's a little bit smaller. So pay attention to that measurement. Then I have another piece of basic white, 2.25 by 2.5. Now let's talk about our designer series paper. It doesn't take a lot. I'm going to be using the Pretty Prints paper, and it's in a gorgeous kind of calypso petal pink. Let's see, this one is a 4 inch by 8.75. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to be cutting this up here in a minute. And then the last thing you're going to need is some ribbon. I've got some of this really pretty petal pink soft poly ribbon, and it is very soft. It kind of feels like bunny fur. I love it. Got about 8 inches of that. Okay, guys, I'm actually going to start with my stamping, okay? We're going to go ahead and get our stamping done. And I'm going to need some grid paper underneath me for this. We're going to be stamping on the two pieces of the basic white. The star of the show today is the lovely and lasting Bundle. Yes, this is one you can order as a bundle. You can order it separately too, but we're going to be using the matching punch. So we will use the bundle today. This one's really great because we have a label stamp that goes right along with the punch. We're going to be using several things from this stamp set. So let me show you. We're going to start with this great big gorgeous floral image and a petal pink ink pad. Margie says, nice stamps. I know they are. They really are. So Wanda's here from South Carolina. No, I'm not, sorry, not South Carolina. Nova Scotia. Goodness, you're here from a long ways away. All right, let's do some stamping. I'm going to open up my card. And really, guys, all I want to do is kind of get these stamps all around the base of this card. By the way, if you get it on the back, it's not going to show. I don't even need to worry if I hit the back side of this. It's all going to be covered up. I will get just a little bit here and a little bit here. You know, most of the time, this would be seen, but we're going to be covering it up. Okay, so there is the first part of my stamping, but in this stamp set, we also have these wonderful little dots. So how about a little soft suede? I think that looks so pretty with petal pink. And I've got a trick here. So we're going to stamp the center of the flower and then stamp off on a white area. Center of the flower and in a white area. I just want to give kind of a nice little, just a way to fill in, basically. I just want to be able to fill in some spaces. Now, well, silly me, I put away my ink pad and I still had one more thing to stamp. We're going to stamp on this little what was that, 2.5 by 2.25. So let's just get a little bit here. Oh, trying to kind of change it up so I'm not getting the same flower. But yeah, we just want to kind of fill in a little bit. A lot of this will be hidden. So when we put our sentiment on there. Okay, I'm going to repeat that same. Ooh, you know what? Don't put this away. Goodness, I'm a hot mess today. I'm going to blame it on the dog. Why not? Okay, so there we go. Before I put this away, I forgot, I do want to stamp a little bit of that on the inside. Yep, it's, you know, do you guys do this? You kind of forget about the inside of the card until you get to the end. Jamie says, creative way to fill the space. It really is. Hey, this one, I don't want to fill up too much of my card for my sentiment. I want to be able to write. So I'm just going to do just a little bit there. And we're going to do that last little bit now with our soft suede. Stamp off. Stamp off. I think I need one more. So we'll go about right there. Okay, so now I think I can really tell you. No, I can't tell you that our stamping's done. There's more. All right. So remember those two pieces of cardstock that we had in the petal pink? I'm going to take this one. And I told you this stamp set has this great frame. I promise this, I am really not this scatterbrained. I was telling Brenda before we started, I just feel like the head's just not connecting to the rest of me. I'm going to make this a thinking of you card. So I'm just going to stamp that right there in the middle, all of it in the soft suede. And we're going to bring in that fabulous matching punch. And we can line that up. You should have enough there on the sides to be able to hold on to your cardstock. And we're going to give that a punch. Perfect. So look at that. Now, I promise you, our stamping is really done. No, really, it is. Okay, that's all ready to go. So now we are going to work with the designer series paper, and I'm going to show you some of my tricks. Here we go. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer so we can trim this down. Now, this particular paper, you notice it's ombre. So you kind of decide which end do you want to be here on the outside. I decided I like the darker to be on the outside and the lighter on the inside, but it doesn't matter. You know, either way is going to work. So remember, this is a 4 by, what did I say? It was 4 by 8 3/4. I'll get it. And we're going to cut this down to 4 by 4. That is going to be for my triangle. Now, this piece that's left over, I need to trim off just a little bit. So it should be 4 3/4 right now, and it is. Let's rotate it around and we're going to go 3 3/4. So really, we're just cutting off a little 1/4 of an inch because we need that so it can go on the inside of our card. All right. We're going to set that one off to the side because I'm going to teach you my tricks for this one. Here we go. So you can do this a couple different ways. If you want, you can fold this. And you might be going, Connie, why aren't you scoring it first? Because it's not even going to show. So you could fold it if you want to. You know what else you could do? You could, if I can find my pen, and I do not have my ruler over here. So you know what? Anybody else improvise like me? You find out what you've already got in your stash and go, yeah, that'll work. Oops. We're going to do that. I'm just going to draw a line. Don't even care. Like I said, it's not even going to show. And you know what? I said all that in the line, ignore me. Just ignore me. I think I had this idea in my head that that was going to work, but it's not. That's what happens when you go live. And I'm not, you know what? I was about to grab my bone folder. No, I'm not, because this is not even going to make any difference at all. So here is my great trick. When I have done this in the past, I have tried to score on each side of this, and it was so hard. But do you know when you fold that in half and then we bring it into our paper trimmer? Here's a couple of my tricks. So this is folded in a diamond or in a triangle shape. It's sitting right here on the 2.5 inch mark. And I'm actually going to go over to, yeah, that was correct. The 2.5 inch mark. So basically, we're going to score this at 3/8 of an inch. But when you have that little line there, this is just, it's just going to make it so easy. You're going to love this. Like I said, trying to score on something that's diagonal is not an easy thing to do. And I got to make sure I'm holding it down. Now we're going to take our scoring blade, score it really good, because we're going to try to go through 2, and I did. We just want to make sure we can get through 2. Don't let your paper trimmer get too far away from you, because we're going to go ahead and cut this. Again, ignore my line. I think I had this great idea. Like I said, I had this great idea in my head, and we're going to cut this. Now, do you see how jaggedy that is? It doesn't look very good. Well, here's the thing. I had a score line, and I tried to cut down a score line. It just doesn't work good, but it's not going to matter. Not even going to show. Okay, we're going to give these a fold. Like I said, that'll all be hidden. I'm going to bring in some scissors, and see this? I've just folded it under. We're just going to snip this away. Doesn't need to be neat and clean. We're just kind of getting out a little bit of bulk so it doesn't show, but nothing needs to be perfect. Guys, the only thing that's going to show is this. So all of this ugly back here, don't even worry about it. Not even going to show. Grab my bone folder now. Now I can give these a good crease. How many of you are going, Connie has lost it? She's all over the place. You know what? Sometimes when we stamp, we can be a bit of a hot mess, especially me. Okay, so here's how we're going to put our card together. So I can see that my card, the opening is down here at the bottom. These are going to adhere to the back of our card. Remember how I said all that when we stamped and it was all going to be ugly and not going to be shown? Yep. So we are going to lay those right there. I'm going to flip this over. You can do this any way you want. If you want to put your adhesive here and stick it down, you can do that. But you know what I like to do, just because it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone, is I go right down that and then I'm good. It's holding down both pieces of cardstock. And again, you're not even going to see it because we're going to take that, we're going to center this up in that 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. Oh, you know what? Look what I learn things. I learn things when I'm live. See, I keep trying to make things easier and I did not. So don't listen to me on that one. I do that with others. Connie has lost it. Connie has gone bye-bye. Okay, we're going to try that again. That did not stick down like I thought it would. It's so sticky, right? Oh my goodness. Please don't unsubscribe because I'm just having a day. It's just a day. All right. There we go. Really? I'm going to make it so easy for you. Oh, Connie's a hot mess. Okay. Did you guys get all that? If I need to repeat any of that, please let me know. Brenda says, please give Connie a thumbs up. Yes, please. I was just telling her earlier, like I said, I don't know what's going on. I think it's time for a doctor's appointment to go. Why am I just focus is a mess and I can't seem to get enough sleep? I do not sleep in like ever, but boy, I have been lately. All right. If anyone out there is a doctor, a nurse, go ahead and feel free to diagnose me with, I don't know, losing her mind, I guess. Okay, so we've just added that piece of designer series paper. See how it dresses up the inside? Yeah, and you know what? We started with a 4 by 8 3/4 piece, but look at how much we were able to really get out of that. Really pretty. And of course, this is going to show off both sides. Okay, so we have this. Let's go ahead and bring in that belly band. And you have plenty of cardstock here to work with. And I'm not going to pre-score it. I'm just going to wrap it around once. So I've given myself that first crease. There's no right or wrong there, okay? Says Connie, who's going to come back later and go, oh, wait a minute. No, I really won't. So we're going to lay that right there. And here's my next trick. When you're putting on belly bands, one thing you want to keep in mind is you don't want the belly band to be too thick. If it's too thick, we have a problem, right? Because then we can't get it to slide on and off. I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to draw myself a score line right there. And when you do that, it's allowing me just enough slush, just like that. This really helps a ton. Now, when we put this together, I'm going to go ahead and bring in this. This is the piece that's going to cover up. If this is too long in any way, shape, or form, and it can be, again, doesn't need to be straight. No one's ever going to see it. So we can adhere that together like this. So let's add some adhesive here, just enough to close up our belly band. Again, I always like to test it and make sure it's sliding. And it seems to be doing pretty good. I think it's just me. All right, you know what, Connie? Seriously, always when you're live, we're going to just take that apart. We're going to try it again. How many times have you heard me say, don't press it down until you're sure? And what did I do? Anything but what I tell you to do. Okay, I'm just going to kind of slide that out. Oh, maybe I should go back to recorded videos. What do you guys think? All right, we're sliding pretty good now. I feel like I'm catching something. All right. Well, you know what? Sometimes live just does things, right? If it's not going to be my audio or my video going out, it's always going to be something. Okay, we had that other piece of the petal pink, and I'm just going to put some adhesive on the band because we don't want this to go beyond the band. We're going to center that up. Again, I'm not going to press it down until I'm happy with it. Okay, I think we're good. We're going to give that a press. Remember that little piece, that little extra basic white? Let's put our adhesive there. Let's see what you guys are saying. Linda, I think you're doing great, Connie. We all do what you're doing. God bless you. Thank you. I just, you know, sometimes you guys know when we stamp, we have good days, we have bad days. It just happens. I don't know. All right. But here's the thing, at 11 o'clock on Thursdays, I got to be having a good day. And it is a good day. The brain just said, well, you might be having a good day, but we're going to make everything you do and say go wonky. Let's add our sentiment. Now, you guys know I love Stampin' Dimensionals, but I'm going to avoid Stampin' Dimensionals on this one because we got a lot of bulk going on this card. So I didn't want to overdo it. So I just added that little punch, the lasting label punch right there. Now for this piece of ribbon, this gorgeous ribbon, we're going to tie it in a square knot here on the side. And remember, and by the way, that is on the belly band. I should have said that. That's on the belly band. You're going to give that a little tug straight up and down. And so we did right over left and under, and now we'll do left over right and under. And if you'll just pull what's in your left hand, you'll get a pretty square knot. And we like pretty square knots. Okay, grab my favorite ribbon scissors here and we'll trim this down. And my friends, that is our belly band and our triangle gatefold. Yay! Now I'm about to show you another version of this, and I got some tips to share with you there. I just think this card is so fun and so unique. But let me show you this one. So you notice on this card, we did it portrait. Well, this one I did landscape, and I've got some tricks to share with you here too. So this one, you see, we took the card going the other way, and I think that's really fun. But you notice on this one, I didn't do any stamping. I let the color, that rich razzleberry, kind of be the star here. I chose rich razzleberry and pear pizzazz. And this is the Awash and Beauty paper. So pretty. And isn't it just so bold, all that white on that rich razzleberry? And then look how big my sentiment is. It's huge. But that took up most of the space on my card. So I didn't feel the need to do any stamping in the background because that kind of took care of it. But I want to share with you how I was able to do this. This is the Reasons to Smile stamp set. And I love this. I mean, when I say huge, these are huge stamps. But I wanted to teach you guys how to do this technique where I stamp this. You notice it's stamped in 2 colors. And I thought it'd be a fun day to try a technique and share this one with you. I'm going to use my Stampin' Right markers, not Stampin' Blends, guys. These are my markers, Rich Razzleberry and Pear Pizzazz. A little trick that you may not know about the markers. Do you see that there is a thick line and a thin line? Well, that's because one end of my marker is a thick tip and one end of my marker is a writing tip. Did you guys know that that was there? Yeah, sure makes it easy. We're going to be using the thick tips on this one. So here is how to do what we call ink to rubber. Okay, so you can take this and add the ink to just the areas that you want. I am using my Stamparatus. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just do my words in the Rich Razzleberry. I am using the side of the tip of my marker. If you use the top, you're going to mush down that tip. And guys, you do not want to mush down the tip. Oh, it will just destroy it. Let's not do that. I'm going to tell you that it can be a little time consuming, not like an hour or anything, but it'll take you a little bit. Tell you what, I'm just going to do like half of this to kind of show you. So I have inked up the big good. All right. Now what we're going to do, you can huff on this, and that means to go, just put a little breath on there. I've got my cardstock set with the magnets. That part's important because we don't want this to move. So I did the words big and good. You would, of course, press all of this because you're going to do it all. But I didn't want to have you guys watch everything. I'm going to just kind of hold on to that magnet because I don't want my cardstock to shift at all. Do you see how it's a little light? But do you notice on my card, it's nice and bold? Well, the way we're going to fix that, this is why you want to use the Stamparatus. This is probably my #1 way I use my Stamparatus, honestly, because now I can go over this again and get another coat of ink on there. I also love to do this sometimes when I've got a really bold stamp and I just really want it to pop. I want a good amount of ink. I want it to just be amazing. So I will come in and use my Stamparatus. Okay, so we're going to give that another press. And like I said, I leave that magnet hanging off because I just want to make sure. Yeah, see the difference? Doesn't that look great? So I would, of course, do all of this. And then I can come in and, oh, you could clean this too at this point. Let's get that rich razzleberry off of there. And I'm doing that because I don't want to accidentally hit it with my Pear Pizzazz marker, but you could go in and clean that first. So I don't even know what end I just inked. Oh, it was this one. Okay. And we can do it again. And see how it just came out really, it didn't really come out the way we wanted. This is a really popular technique, but I got to tell you, I just think it's 1,000 times better when you do it with the Stamparatus. Okay, so you can see, looks like I'm probably going to do a third version with that one there. But can you see that really great technique? I'm going to leave this alone because I'm going to want to finish that. But that's what it looks like when it's all done. I added a couple of the brass butterflies. You want to know why? Because I had ink on the side of my hand and I touched my card. So I covered that up with a couple butterflies. I know that you guys have done this. Randy said, can you use the blends on stamps? And I believe the answer is no. Because first of all, it's alcohol. It's just going to dry too quick. And so it will not work. So you do want to stick with the Stampin' Write markers for that. So a water-based marker is what you're going to want there. Now this one, I did the square stitched rectangles and I did 2 layers. So I thought that one, like I said, this one was just really pretty with the awash with flowers. And then look at that on the inside. It's so big and bold. Here's the thing with this sentiment, big hugs and good vibes. You know what? That goes for anything. I could be saying get well with big hugs and good vibes. I could be saying congratulations. I could be saying thinking of you. Hey, friend. I mean, really, that pretty much says it all for just about any occasion. So this one, I am going to leave blank on the inside. So I have room for my message there. And there, once again, is the belly band. The measurements on this are all the same. Okay, those did not change. The only thing that changed were this sentiment that I did on top. That's the only thing that's different. So yeah, feel free to kind of change it up. You know, you could always do your own homemade designer series paper. You know, I'm a huge fan of doing that. Stamping all over, you could stamp all over a piece of neutral cardstock in that 4 by 8 3/4, and you can accomplish the same thing. So feel free to get creative with how you do your stamping. So let me bring my card back in one more time. And then I want to share with you what we're going to create next week. I hope you guys like those. Oh, Randy said gorgeous. Thank you. Brenda says she didn't know about the markers. Oh, I'm so glad I took the time to share that with you because I wanted you guys to see how that's done. I don't do it a lot on video. So today seemed like a good day for it. So yay, Brenda, you learned something new. Debbie says, oh, goody, we get a card how to's on the recipe. Okay, cool. And I'm glad you guys are loving the free downloads. So next week's cards, these are so fun. This is going to be Thursday, June 16th. My favorite stamp set in the catalog by far is the Sweetest Cherries bundle. Love, love, love this stamp set. But I was playing with it and I said, you know what? That kind of looks like an apple too. Oh, it kind of looks like an orange too. Then it hit me, it could be a plum. It could be a lot of things, you guys. So I created some fun cards. Do you love the black and white polka dot? This is the dots and spots die. And I just cut that 3, I didn't do 3. Okay, I'm going to try to say that one more time. I had a big piece of cardstock and I cut these down. I got all 3 of these out of this one piece. But that black and white and that pow and those colors, isn't that fun? And then, of course, on the inside, we've got a little stamping here on the inside as well. Ooh, check this out. I made my own customized embellishments. Do you see? I have the pumpkin pie and I have the granny apple and I have the sweet sorbet. I'm going to teach you that too next week. So you're going to want to check that one out. I also, can you see the shiny? I did the packing tape technique. You guys, if you've been watching, you know I love to put packing tape on things before I cut it or punch it. And that made my cherry shiny. And I think the apples and the oranges should be shiny too, but I only did it on the one. But cannot wait to share how to make those. And I'm going to share one more thing with you. If you subscribe to my newsletter, I do a free tutorial for you. We're going to be sending out the next newsletter on June 17th. So if you would like my free tutorial for this card, because those cherries, they make me so happy. I don't know. My whole bathroom is done in cherries. I have cherry shower curtain, and I have cherry soap dispenser, and I have cherry candle, and I have, wait for it, a cherry toilet bowl scrubber. The handle is the stem of the cherry. I know, it's crazy, but it's so cute. Anyway, I'm all about the cherries. And so this card, I'm gonna give you a free tutorial on how you can make this one. Keep in mind, you could do this same one, and you're gonna have the apples or the oranges, so you could always change this up, right? But I thought I'd go ahead and share that. You can subscribe to my newsletter by going to simplysimplestamping.com, and there's gonna be a little pop-up. So please do that. All right, I have something else I want to share with you. And this is a card I got in the mail yesterday. And the reason I'm not showing it to you just yet because it's a sad thing. I got a great card from Marie from Georgia, but it was pouring down rain yesterday. And I think my mail carrier dropped the entire card in a puddle, and it was, the whole card was soaking wet. I mean, just soaking wet. And it's destroyed, and I'm so sad. But Marie, I know exactly what you did here, and I know it is a gorgeous card. And she wrote me a sweet message inside. I just wanted to share her card and just say, you know what, these are the things that happen sometimes. But Marie, thank you for the gorgeous card. Um, but when I got this, it reminded me of a tip I shared a long, long time ago. And it kind of inspired me. Maybe I need to start doing that again, especially during the spring when it's a lot of rain. Did you know that when you send your cards, first of all, you guys know we have clear envelopes here. I'm going to move myself back here so you're not talking to my hands. Um, we have clear envelopes. You guys have seen me use them for lots of things. I've used them for treat bags and all kinds of stuff. Well, a tip that I shared ages ago, if it's a wet time of year, you can put your card into the clear envelope. Now, you can mail it in a clear envelope. That is fine. But do you know what? We don't know why, but some post offices get a little persnickety about this and they don't like them. We don't know why. I've never had a problem. My post office is great, but there are just certain post offices that just go, we don't like that. Anyway, if you will put your card in a clear envelope and then put it in the envelope, that will help protect it. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've been stamping for 20 plus years, and I have only received a few cards that have come to me like that. Does not happen very often. And, really, how often does your mail carrier drop your mail in the water? Not very often. But I thought I'd throw out the tip that if it's something that, I don't know, Seattle gets a lot of rain. Maybe up in Oregon, you're sending a card and you go, I think I want to protect that card just to be on the safe side. You could always put it in a clear envelope, which would help protect it. But Marie, thank you for your card. I do love it. And I'm just so sorry that the mail carrier dropped it. But these things, they do happen. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for letting me have major brain freeze through all of that. I told you I had such great tips, and then I don't know. This is me on live. Okay, everybody. I can't wait to stamp with you soon. Be sure to join me. Tuesday, I've got another video in my top 10 hack series that you're going to want to check out. So we will see you guys then. Make it a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.